This video is about to get very surgical, so stay with me to the end. Let's just get it out the way. F the streets is suspicious. F the streets is suspicious. And by the end of this video, I guarantee you'll see where I'm coming from, right? Now, I will acknowledge that I could be wrong. So first we can talk about the surface level of this whole F the streets thing. But then we can talk about what I think is going on here. Because when you put all the context clues together, this might be a little psyop we got going on here. All right? First and foremost, y'all don't find it odd that F the Streets comes after the 21 Savage album comes out? Right? It's after the 21 Savage album comes out. It's not while Young Thug is doing his interviews. It's not while Gunna was going through the whole situation and everybody was bagging on him. It's not none of that. Right? It's after the 21 Savage album comes out. And it doesn't perform. Now, 21 Savage is getting all the Atlanta rappers, trying to get all the Atlanta rappers back together. And it's saying F the streets. And really moving it like a hashtag. That's one of the key things I think it is to notice, right? That F the streets is essentially right now a hashtag, right? Now, I think that on a surface level, let's say they do believe in this. They do believe in F the streets because of everything that they just went through. And you see, they was going through a lot, right? It's like the whole empire is crumbling. So let's say they do believe what they're saying, right? And it's F the streets. Y'all were really the main voices for the wild shit, if we being honest. And I'm not saying Young Thug or 21 Savage in general, but just rappers like that who don't talk about nothing else. As a matter of fact, 21 Savage is saying F the streets, but if you go listen to the album, that's what the whole album is about damn near. And I'm not talking about the streets from a journalistic standpoint, but just like really glorifying it. It's a lot of street rappers in hip hop, right? And I don't know if they're for the streets or not, whatever. But it's a lot of rappers who rap about the streets in hip hop. And some rap it in a way where we can see the consequences that can come from this. We can see that it's a cautionary tale, right? Not all street rappers, in my opinion, are glorifying the streets. But there are some rappers that glorify the streets, and that's 21 Savage. We gotta be honest here. Okay, we being honest. That does not mean I look down on 21 Savage. No. We all, at the end of the day, we human. You see what I'm saying? And that's what it is. But it's just something to note. That 21 Savage style is the glorification of the streets. We got to be real about that. So my thing is, I don't believe it and I don't care until the music reflects it. You can get on Twitter and say this all day. Until the music reflects that it's F the streets, I can't take it serious. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this is a marketing tactic. If y'all are marketing for maybe a joint project or whatever y'all got going on. But I would not rule something like that out based on the things that y'all been doing for this last year. Right? So, from that perspective, it's cool. Y'all, if F the streets and y'all done with it and all the different stuff, I understand, boom, boom. But let's also acknowledge I don't even want to put that blame right? Strictly on them, because we talking about an entire system here. But they do perpetuate though, right? And so I don't want to say that this is their fault. Okay, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say this is 21 Savage and Young Thug's fault, because it's not. They are a product of what the system had became, and then they try to take advantage of the system. So they played a part in it, but it's not totally their fault. But in reality, y'all music has amplified the energy, the emotions, the thoughts, the frequencies of people to go do these things, especially if they already in the streets. Y'all music to the people who not in the streets, of course, it's like a something to just listen to. But people playing your music and doing these activities. You know that. You know that. You can hear it in the tempo. You can hear it in all that. And that's why it's important to say the music got to reflect it. It got to reflect it. And I'm not going to blame them fully, right? But once again, even we talk about not even just the activity, but the people being pushed into the prison system. Y'all music is playing a role in influencing people to go straight to jail. And that's why there needs to be cautionary tales in y'all raps. Not just the glorification of everything that's going great, but the cautionary tales. Okay? So from that perspective, I can't really buy into this. Right? Now, let's imagine, right? Because this is not 100% fact. Let's get to what I think is going on. Okay? This is where we about to get surgical. All right? Y'all don't find it suspicious, the timing of F the Streets? That's not suspicious to y'all? The timing of F the Streets? Wasn't that said right after this? Right after Young Thug just got done saying that hip hop is in a weird place?
A lot of like the fucking ripple effect that came out. We always wanted to do this type of music, and then I feel like rap is in like a weird like space right now, because it's just saying like everybody beefing, and then it's just like two of the biggest artists in the world, like Clash, and a lot of like the fucking ripple effect that came out.
So now, in this video, he's blaming the battle for why people are not sticking to his music. Not saying maybe I should make better music or whatever. He's blaming the battle, right? But this is the thing. Other people are doing great. So what's going on? The music is not doing it for you. That's really what it is. And they're blaming the battle. I find it ironic that this is the same guy that was on the Aiden Ross stream. This is the same guy, the intro of his album, right, was saying the N-word all over it with the ER. And I'm not saying he can't say that. He black. I don't watch Dave Chappelle. I'm not finna be up here and pretend like I'm super uppity and all that. Nah. I watch Dave Chappelle. This should be funny. But you know the audience that you are predicating to. It's the reason you went on the Aiden Ross stream. You know what type of audience you going for. Right? The youthful. Y'all know what's going on, man. Y'all know what's going on, bro. You know what you're going for. So to say hip hop is in a weird space, I want to make hip hop pop. I want to all this different stuff. And now all of a sudden, y'all got a movement called F the Streets.
Weird. I feel like it's time. I feel like we gotta like take it to the next level. We gotta level up. Like AI, it's just so much. Everything in the world leveling up except hip hop. Like niggas being like worse. Like we be so comfortable.
So anyway, I'm not even about to watch the rest of this, but I just want y'all to keep that in mind, right? And then we scroll up where Nicki Minaj is publicly endorsing Trump, right? Young Thug was just on the Aiden Ross stream. He's actually been on the Aiden Ross stream multiple times, I believe. Nicki Minaj endorsing Trump. Drake got his situation. He walking out with Morgan Wallen. It seemed like F the streets, right? And I'm not saying there's people who are saying F the streets that I think genuinely mean it. I'm talking about the specific, y'all know what I'm talking about, the Lil Babies and 21 Savage and all that pocket of people, right? Those artists. That is where this is stemming from. Other artists, I think they saying it and they believe it. But that is where it's stemming from. And it wasn't a thing until the sales weren't there. But all these rappers are also aligning themselves with a political party at the same time. Y'all don't find that interesting? Right? Nicki Minaj. Then, you got we turn it into a hashtag all over Twitter now. Now it's something that we posted on, and it's something everybody posting, making videos on TikTok all of a sudden. It's becoming a trend. Now, this is what I want y'all to think about. Okay? Remember what woke used to mean? When people used to say woke, way back when people first started saying it, it was really like, in the social media era, woke was really like centered to your spiritual awareness. You know what I mean? Woke was like attributed to people who was talking about their pineal gland and all that. That's what woke was attributed to. And then they got a hold of it, and y'all know who I mean by they got a hold of it and changed the perception around the word. And now woke means the left. That's what they do. They take these words that means one thing, right? They twist them and then give a new perspective for the so it minimizes the influence. Right? Why wouldn't F the streets be the same thing? I'm just wondering. Think about it. To people who either have people who live that lifestyle or you live that lifestyle or whatever it is, this means something totally different to you. Right? Than somebody who has never even had proximity to it. Is Young Thug's audience really the streets? The majority? No. It's not. The majority of Young Thug's audience, or really the majority of artists at that level, right, is going to be, especially in America, it's going to be a lot of Caucasian people. Right? Especially when you glorifying the situation, because then they just fascinated, right? Why wouldn't this be seen? Like, for example, F the streets on the surface level is F the streets. But to somebody who no proximity, that's just black people. Real talk. That's just black people. It's the same thing. You start seeing the Kendrick Lamar fans start to get like that label start to get thrown around in weird arenas. And it's almost like as if these are codes for black people. Now, what I wonder is, are they aware of that? Because they've been making the pivot. So they probably are aware of what they're doing here. I give it to you by February that F the streets will be a solidified thing that you see in hashtags, you see, but it'll become memeified. F the streets will become memeified. It might even be before February. It could be tomorrow. It'll become memeified. And once it's memeified, that's when the streets will just equal whatever people think. And I'm telling you, the first thing people gonna think it is black people. The streets is black people, the people who don't understand the streets. It's people who think it's only black people in the streets. It's people who think it's only black people in the streets. That's what we're talking about here. This is a dangerous game. Now, what I think is, I wouldn't be opposed to thinking that this is intentional. I wouldn't be opposed to seeing Young Thug and all of them basically galvanizing right now and trying to galvanize that audience as the new base. Because that's essentially what Drake was doing at the top of the year. That's essentially what Nicki Minaj is doing now, right? Because they're aligning with the political party. And of course, the people who follow the political will push them because of pushing the political agenda. It seems like an entire function of is being built. Like, container side of the Republican Party for Republican candidates, the influencers for this are like gearing up for 2028. That's what that's what this is starting to feel like. Like I said, I could be wrong. So that's why I spoke from the surface level in the beginning. But this feels very suspicious, y'all. It really does. This feels like some deeper. F the streets really is, I think F the streets is really F black people, F hip hop. I think that's what that means. To me and you, it means one thing. To whoever's watching, I know I got all types of people watching. To me and you is one thing, but to you it might be something else. To me and them it might be one thing, but to you it might be something else. And that's the reality of our earth, our world, and our country. F the streets is going to mean something different to everybody. And I feel like they are aware of that. And F the streets is really a movement or a situation where it seems like a declaration. I could be tripping, I know. But this is what I'm feeling. This feels like a declaration. Not to mention, you hear Trump talking about going into these projects and cleaning shit up. Nicki Minaj on Twitter telling, you feel what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. Think about it. It's interesting. And I really could keep going on this subject because this feels very psyopy, man. It does. It feels psyopy. It feels psyopy, bro. You know what I'm saying? But hey, like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. We gonna have to talk. It's a couple things we gotta break down on this, bro. And I'm be keeping up with this just to see if my what I'm looking at, if it aligns. Because yeah, bro. Like, comment, subscribe, especially if you're new here, especially if you've been here. I'm gonna catch y'all, man.